Good morning, crafters, and welcome to my channel. I have a beautiful blueberry grapevine wreath for you today. I was so excited once I finally got all the items together to make this beautiful grapevine wreath. Now, blueberries are one of my favorite summertime fruits. I had so much fun pulling this together. I hope you enjoy the tutorial. Let me show you how to make this beautiful blueberry grapevine wreath. To get started on today's project, you're going to need a grapevine wreath. I picked this one up from Hobby Lobby, and I wanted one that was more oval than round, but that is completely up to you. Once you get your wreath, some of them you do need to clean up a little bit, and basically all I do to clean up is I take anything that's sticking out and I'll rewrap it, kind of feed it in. Anything that doesn't feed back in, that's a little too wild, I'll just go through and trim off until I have a nice shape. So I've already gone through and cleaned up my wreath form here, and now I'm ready to start attaching my items. So this is the sign that we're going to be using today. I picked up my sign at Craft Outlet and it was about $3.50. And I'm planning on placing it down here towards the bottom. You're also going to need 2 blueberry stems. I also picked these up from craftoutlet.com, and these are about $6.50 a piece. And then you'll also need 2 stems of this beautiful greenery. I found this at Dollar Tree, and this is new this year. This is called Italian Ruscuss. So I have 2 stems of that. This is some extra greenery for the background. Okay, so let's go ahead and get our sign prepped to go onto our wreath. I'm going to attach 2 pipe cleaners here, one on either side. I'm going to be using my staple gun. This sign is nice and thick, so it will be able to easily take my staples. Now on this side I'm adding the blueberries, so I'm not too worried about hiding the pipe cleaner. But on this side is going to be open where you're going to see part of the wreath. So I want to make sure this side that you can't see my pipe cleaner. Now to help me hide it, I'm going to feed it in through some of the wreath. Pull it together and give a good twist or two. And I'm not going to do anything else until I make sure I get my sign correctly positioned, because I may want to reposition it a little bit when I start to add my blueberries and my greenery. I have my sign on and it's nice and sturdy, and I did feed it through the grapevine here so that I don't see the pipe cleaners from the front. Now once I get my other items on here and I know that I don't need to move my sign, I will then twist down, trim, and tuck my pipe cleaners. But for right now, I believe that's where I want to place it. So now I'm going to work on placing my berries and my greenery. So here on my blueberry stems, I just went through and kind of separated them. Made sure to pull all of my leaves up. And I laid it flat because I want everything to be facing up, because that's where it's going to go onto the wreath. Okay, so I did that to both of my blueberry stems so that I can see everything really well. Now I know these stems are way too long for what I need them for, so I'm going to trim them down. And I'm planning on placing 1 blueberry stem here at the top so it reaches the center. And then the second blueberry stem is going to go down here. And then I may even trim or just pull down a couple pieces because I want them to come down past the sign here. So something along those lines. So I need to trim off these really long ends. Just use my wire cutters. It'll take a little while because there's several pieces in here. And just work my way around until I can get them trimmed to the length that I need them. So I've trimmed down the stems here on my blueberries. I went in on the Ruscuss and I've also cut both of them shorter. And then on one I separated the two leaves. And now I'm just kind of working on placement before I start to attach them. I want the Ruscuss to be the background. And I also do want this to kind of follow the shape of the wreath. So I'm just going to use the wire that's in here and kind of bend it. And like I said, I want to start about in the middle on the top here with the greenery. So for right now, I'm just going to lay it down. And then I'm going to lay the blueberries over. I'm going to drop them down just a little bit and then lay them over. And again, I'm also going to kind of bend them and shape them so they'll follow the shape of the wreath here. So that's my first two pieces, the Ruscuss in the back, and then the blueberries on top. I think that looks beautiful. And then my second piece is going to go down here. So I'm going to take half of the Ruscuss here and place it. And then attach the blueberry stem. Now this, on the side here, I pulled down the last leaf and blueberry. I'm planning on tucking that right here at the base of the sign so that it comes down. Now the second stem of the Ruscuss I'm going to place underneath. So that's how I'm going to be putting on my greenery. So we're going to start up here attaching. And to attach these, I'm initially just going to be adding some hot glue on the stem and feeding it in. Once I get everything on there, if it doesn't feel secure, I'll go in with some floral wire and further attach it. I just add a nice amount of glue here on the stem. Decide approximately where you want to place it and then feed it into the grapevine wreath. Do a little bit of adjusting there. Then on top of that, I'm going to be placing my blueberries. Again, just kind of find their placement. And then just feed it into the grapevine there. Make sure it's nice and secure. And do any further adjusting you need to. I have my Ruscuss stem and my first blueberry stem attached. Now I'm going to go in and attach the second Ruscuss piece here. And now remember, I cut it into two. So the first one I'm going to attach going up. And then the second one I'm going to attach kind of coming down. And I'm going to place these before I put on my blueberries. Now if anything easily pops off, just add a little bit of hot glue and put it back on. The hot glue will help it so it doesn't come off on you again. I think that looks so pretty. I love all the blueberries and all the leaves. Okay, now I'm just going to go through and take some of my black floral wire here and wire down some of the longer pieces. I'm just going to cut it long enough that I can just wrap around the entire wreath form to make it easy on myself. So I'm going to wire in right here. And just do your best to hide your wires. You don't want them to show. And just wrap it around, give it a couple twists, trim my wire, and then tuck them. There you go. I have all of my blueberries and my greenery attached. I did go in and wire down the top section of the first piece here, and I also wired down the top section of the second two pieces here. And then I just kind of fluffed out my greenery and my berries. I'm very pleased. I'm very happy with the amount, and I think it looks great with the sign. Now, of course, you could stop there, but I think I want to add a bow. So let's go ahead and make a beautiful bow to go on our blueberry grapevine wreath. I'm going to be using my Easy Bow Maker today. I did pick this up from Amazon. You can find the link to my Amazon associate shop in the description box below, and you can find my bow makers that I use. Now these are the two ribbons that I've selected to use today on our wreath. Both of them are really good ribbon, and I picked them up from craftoutlet.com. This one is just a really pretty 1.5 inch at 10 yards, nice navy. And then this one, of course, has your beautiful blueberries on that white background. I like this ribbon a lot because I like the way that it's finished here on the edge. It's nice and clean. Just clean up the edge here. And you're also going to need a pipe cleaner. So I'm going to measure out my tail here at about 8 inches, and then I'm going to pinch and twist. Now your tails, the nice side of the ribbon should be facing up, but once you come through the dowel rods and you go to start making your loops for your bow, the nice side of the ribbon should be facing down. Now I'm going to be measuring my loops at 5 inches, and I'm going to make 2 loops on either side with this ribbon. Now I'm going to do the exact same thing here with my navy ribbon. Measure at 8 inches, pinch and twist. And then I'm going to do 2 loops on either side, measured at 5 inches. I'm going to do that one more time with my blueberry ribbon. Measure at 8 inches, pinch, and make 2 loops on either side at 5 inches. Measure my tails at 8 inches, and then this time I'm only going to make 3 loops at 5 inches. Two on one side and 1 on the other. And then I'm going to come through the small dowel rod and the large dowel rod here in the front. I want my tail on the opposite side. That helps me keep that piece on this side, so when I make my bow, everything is where it's supposed to be. Take a full-length pipe cleaner, slide it down underneath. Bring it up right next to the dowel rods. I always find the center. Push down, pinch, and then lift out. That's going to help you keep everything stacked. Make sure you have that piece in the front. Grab those pipe cleaners, pull nice and tight, and pull it around to the back. Now see, that's the little piece I was talking about. You want to make sure that stays on that side, otherwise your bow will fall apart. So as I fluff out my bow, I always hold it right there in the center so that I don't pull too hard. Then you can start pulling down all of your tails and opening up your loops. So I just go in, I open it up and put my hand in. I want to make sure there's not a crease there in the loop. And if you need to do any adjusting, you want to come right down here to where it's tied. That's where you need to do whatever twisting or adjusting that you need to do to get those loops to lay the way that you want. And as you can see, I'm just trying to open them up and fan them out. I don't have any specific order. I want the two to be nicely mixed. So that's approximately what your bow should look like. Now I will do my final adjusting once I get it onto the wreath. And at that time I will also decide how I want my tails, whether I want them to all come down, whether I want them going in different directions. I always make those final decisions once I get my bow onto my wreath. Now you can place your bow wherever you want. If you want to place it at the bottom, at the top. I'm going to kind of go here, kind of in the middle of this quarter section. I think that placement is very pretty. Yeah, I like that, and I even like the multiple tails coming down. Okay, so I'm just going to use my pipe cleaners here, and I'm going to feed it in around part of the grapevine and then attach it there, trim, and then tuck my pipe cleaners. And then at that time I will do my final adjusting and trim my tails. I have my bow on and we are all done. I'm very pleased with the Blueberry Grapevine Wreath. I love the bow. The dark navy and the blueberry ribbon go so beautifully together. And it makes such a nice statement on this wreath. Now to recap, I used 2 stems of the Greenery Ruckus from Dollar Tree, 2 stems of this beautiful blueberry spray that you can get from Craft Outlet, I picked up the sign from Craft Outlet as well as the ribbon. And then the grapevine wreath I did pick up from Hobby Lobby. Well, I hope you enjoyed today's tutorial. If you did, please give me a big thumbs up and show some love in the comments. This really does help support my channel. If you enjoy craft tutorials and hauls, you're going to want to make sure to check out these other videos. Thanks again for stopping by. It's always a pleasure. You have a great day, and I'll catch you in the next video.